Welcome to the Women in the Arena podcast, a platform dedicated to honoring America's women veterans who dare greatly in all aspects of life. I'm your host, Sarah Scully. At Women in the Arena, we harness the power of storytelling to illuminate the human experience. Through authentic narratives, we honor the resilience, authenticity, and leadership of women who have served our country. Our name, Women in the Arena, pays homage to Theodore Roosevelt's legendary speech, The Man in the Arena, recognizing the remarkable contributions of women in traditionally male-dominated domains. Welcome back to the Women in the Arena podcast. In this incredibly fun episode, I had the chance to sit down with the amazing Haley Marie McClain Hill, Air Force veteran, award-winning entrepreneur, two-time NFL cheerleader, and the founder of Torch Warrior Wear, the first ever bodysuit designed specifically for women warriors. Above all, she brings electric energy and a deep passion for her community. Even a short conversation with her will inspire you to chase your boldest ambitions. I admire not only what she has built, but what she stands for, a brand rooted in purpose, strength, and genuine community. In our conversation, she opens up about the journey behind her groundbreaking company, how she secured major wins like her Shark Tank deal, and what it truly takes to turn an idea into a thriving business. Together, we dive into the realities of entrepreneurship, scaling an ever-evolving world of retail, e-commerce, and the veteran support ecosystem. Her energy, insight, and passion for helping others step confidently into their dreams makes this episode both inspiring and full of practical wisdom for anyone stepping into their own arena. Let's get into it. Haley Marie, welcome to the Women in the Arena podcast. I'm so excited that you're here. This is our first time recording an interview with someone on the other side of the world in a while. We've done it one time in our first season, and it's been a long time. And so first, I want to thank you for staying up late with us on your Sunday evening, because it's Sunday evening right now for you, and just for being here. I've been following your brand for a while now, and I was honestly just so thrilled when we were connected and when you're interested in interviewing. So thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Sarah. I mean, we have to support each other as women vets, and like what you're doing is amazing, and I'm so grateful to be here. So thank you.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I would love for you to go ahead and introduce yourself first. I know that you're an excellent public speaker and you help people with doing their elevator pitches and basically selling their brand to audiences. So I'm excited to hear actually what your elevator pitch is of you, because I know that you're so good at it.
Okay, see, when you teach so many other people, you sometimes are like, I'll figure it out for myself. Hi everyone, I'm Haley. I am the CEO and founder of Torch Warrior Wear. We are the first clothing brand dedicated specifically to military women. I am 30 years old, turning 31 in December, and I just moved across the world to get my master's in fashion in Florence, Italy. So my entire life right now is dedicated to learning more about my business, growing as a woman, and just figuring out how I can honestly build a global empire. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And one thing that I love about your story is that I love when I meet someone who's done two things that don't typically overlap. So when people hear about military veterans getting out, they're typically going into defense contracting or something a little bit more in line with, where they had just come from. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I love when I meet someone who is taking a creative detour and maybe getting into something artistic or entrepreneurial that is a little bit different than what they were doing in the military. But the cool thing with your brand is it all connects back to the military and to, the people that you served with and the things that you were, using and wearing every single day as a service member. So tell us a little bit about Torch Warrior Wear and what the products that you sell are, and just basically how they're changing the game for women service members.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's so simple. It's such a simple concept. It's like women and men too, but I mean, women specifically, like we want to feel good when we're wearing clothes. I mean, it's like when you're in such a male dominated space, like I just remember waking up every day, throwing on a t-shirt that felt horrible, looked horrible, and I just like, oh, the only thing I can really pull together is like my hair and put a little makeup, whatever. But I'm like, why isn't there something more comfortable for what we're wearing every single day? And so one day I just woke up and was like, I want to wear a bodysuit, like because I wear this outside of my uniform, but I want to wear it inside my uniform. And that's really where we started. And that's like our hero product. It's a very simple coyote brown, like bodysuit. I went down to LA, got a prototype and was just like, hey, like, can you guys make this for me? And I like got it, put it on TikTok, and it just blew up. It's like, the smallest things, as you know, as a woman, it's just like the littlest things, they can make such a huge impact. And we're not going to stop there. Like my entire goal is to revamp the entire military uniform for all different careers, from all different stages in a woman's military service. If she's pregnant, if she's just coming in, if she's about to get out, if she needs FR, if she needs dry fit, thermal, whatever, and kind of creating this entire product line that feels cool and dope, because it's like we're like little Kim Possibles. It's like, all right, like let's look cool and also feel amazing and know that there's a brand that really rides for us. Because I think now in the real world, it's more than a product. It's community, it's values, it's belonging. And after everything with COVID and just this change up of how the world has changed, it's like, there needs to be a space specifically for military women that they know they can feel safe, they know they can feel celebrated, and they know that they can feel like, yeah, like I'm here and I'm not leaving. So
I love that. And it just got me so pumped up for so many reasons. And the first is I feel like every person who has had an idea that's just gone to the moon and done so well is they start really simple with a problem. And so, when most people think about starting a business or maybe launching a store or whatever it is, I think it's like you think about being product saturated. But if you can find one thing that's solving a problem for someone and then expand from there and know your audience really, really well, you're going to be so successful. And I I totally, totally, totally feel the itchy t-shirt, the unflattering. I mean, I literally, this is horrible, but I remember being a second lieutenant wearing my uniform, and a friend came up to me and was like, "You look like you're pregnant because this is just so unflattering." And like he was just joking because he was like, you're like a petite woman in this like big baggy uniform, and it's just so, it just doesn't, and it's not like, oh, I want this to be fitting tight to me all the time in every place, but just something that makes you feel confident and good. And I think, as I get older, I realize like confidence comes from within. And when you look good, you feel good and you perform your best. And so, and again, going back to things that are told to us and we hear over, the course of our lives, I'm sure that so many women have been probably told or at least influenced to feel like when they're in uniform, they shouldn't feel good. Like they should just feel like everyone else, or they should look like everyone else. And I
yeah,
personally call BS on that. I think that, you
yeah,
know, plenty of men feel good in their uniform and fill it out well. And there's no reason why we shouldn't have a
yeah,
product line that works and feels good for women. And so also
yeah.
for our listeners, because we do have some male listeners, and if I know that there's a man that's going to listen to this, or even a woman, and say, "What is a bodysuit?" So can you explain how the shirt works and fits, and like what makes it different than what people are currently using or are issued?
Yeah, totally. And I'll tell you this, I have men who wear my product, and
Oh, hell yes. And it probably looks so good.
look, I don't ask for
I want to
pictures.
see I want to see my fiance in a bodysuit. He'd look dope. All right, keep going.
Hey, I think if I created one that had like boxer brief shorts, like, not the bikini,
Yes.
like
Yes.
there's an opportunity there. But No, it's if you've ever seen like a gymnast. So I mean, just tying back into my background, like I was a dancer, a gymnast growing up, and you know, I had to wear uniforms that would help me perform. Like, and as you know, you watch the Olympics, everyone's in like a leotard. That's pretty much what a bodysuit is. So it's really like it snaps at the bottom. You can just put it on. It's going to stay tucked. It's going to stay form fitting to you. Our product, it's very simple. It's nothing, there's nothing more complicated than that for anyone who's curious. But the thing is like when you wear a t-shirt compared to a bodysuit, like you're not worried about tucking it in all day. You're not worried about it, not fitting you the right way. So you're just like putting it on every day and you're just like, oh, like it's just not comfortable or flattering. So I think for me, it fits the purpose of it is for it to fit the woman's physique. It's going to allow her to move and be more mobile. And also it's a cozy material. Like I chose the cozy, soft, like pajama material because it's like, we're wearing this thing all day, man. Like I want to be comfortable. Like that's the bottom line. So it's comfort, it's style, and it's functionality.
And I love to going back to I think what sets brands apart and what helps them to skyrocket to their fullest potential is the the way that the branding feels, the way that the marketing feels, the way that the product feels. And I think if I found this bodysuit like buried deep on a rack at US Patriot Tactical, I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. But like the brand is what you're trying to do, which is unifying women, like having women of all ranks, branches of the military, ethnicities, body types, modeling your product and looking so good and looking so fierce and basically just exuding all of their, badassery in the product and uniform and just being themselves. And like so you're
Yes.
doing so much more than just giving someone a product. You're also bringing people together. And like I love when I look at the Instagram and the website because it's a bunch of badass service ladies like having fun, like doing shoots and just like being
Yes.
silly. And that's literally what I loved most about my time when I was in was just the time with the girls and like meeting awesome women and having a good time. And that's what I've loved about this podcast is that, we can continue to do that and laugh and have fun. And so you're taking it so much further than just being another offering that, goes to a military store and, is hung next to all the regular stuff. You're setting yourself apart as, hey, we're the only brand doing this. And also we're kind of a community in itself that's bringing people together for just connection too.
Yes, exactly, Sarah. Like when you were talking, I'm thinking about all the girls that I served with. Like when I was moving from California to Italy, like I stopped in Hawaii and stayed with my best friend who I met at Beale Air Force Base. And like, we did a little event with some Torch girls. And then I met a girl through Torch who took us on like this boat trip together because she's in the Navy and she's like, oh, we get free boats over here, on base and stuff. I'm like, what? Like y'all got some cool stuff. So it's just like, this is what I want. And like you said, yeah, it's not just a product. It's truly like a family and it's a global family. And the cool part about it too is like, I'm here in Italy and I'm meeting girls in the Dutch Army, the Royal Air Force, the Italian Army over here. And it's just like, I didn't even think about them over there. I'm like, oh, hold on, I didn't even think about you guys. And now it's like wherever you go, you will find a girl who is wearing the brand and you know that she has that girl's girl mentality.
Yes. Oh my God. That is so, so cool. Like thinking about going to another country and, being on a base and being like, oh, I see that Polish girl over there with her Torch bodysuit. That is so cool.
She's
So
like such a cool girl.
yes, yes. Like she's a baddie. She likes to look good and like feel good. It's awesome. So tell me about like when was the moment that this idea came to life and that you launched into fruition? Do you think that you always wanted to be an entrepreneur post-military, or was it, hey, I'm, entering this new chapter and I want to take my experiences and turn it into this business? Like, what was the defining moment that turned this into something that you actually wanted to bring to life?
Yeah, I think it was when the TikTok blew up and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Oh, like, because I had the prototype, and I was at Beale at the time, and which is, a tiny base, and I was asking a couple girls in my unit. I'm like, would you wear this? Would you wear this? And a couple of them were like, yeah. I'd say like 60% were like, yeah, and then the other 40 were like, no, not for me. But then I just decided to go on TikTok. I was like, guys, like, who would want this? And it just blew up, and I was just like, oh, like, okay, I think there's some real interest here. And who else is going to bring this to life? I actually like reached out to a couple of their brands and was like, you guys should make this. And they were like, too small of a market, or not really our thing. Like, we don't have time for this, which now having my own brand, like, I get it, because I'm constantly getting product development ideas. And it's like, hold on, like, we kind of need to,
Yeah.
prioritize this. And I want to do all of it, but, do we have to be smart about what we're doing next? So yeah, that was the moment. I was like, oh, okay, like, this is not just the Air Force, because I was just thinking Air Force, because I was Air Force, and then it was like Air Force Army, and then it was, the UK, Australia, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, this is everybody.
Yes, 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 exactly. And so were you always interested? I think if you had to go back maybe 8 or 10 years, do you think you would have seen yourself getting into fashion and retail? Or is this something that you wake up every day and you're like, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe this is what I do for a living?
Oh, well, and I'm just remembering I skipped your entrepreneurship question. I mean, it's all in one. Like, I would say I've always been like, I'm an older sister. I'm like always been captain of my cheerleading team, or, trying to be part of the leadership team at ROTC. So I've been very driven. And now I've realized, like, that is one of obviously the key aspects of running a business. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I've also been a little rebellious, where I like don't want people to tell me what to do all the time, even though
Isn't it funny how the girls who hate authority end up being in the military? My best friend and I like are always like, I hate when people tell me what to do. Like, it could be at the grocery store and someone's like, hey, don't put your cart there. And I'm like, okay, don't tell me where to put my cart. But like, how we end up where we do is beyond me, but keep going.
No, it is amazing. I'm like, our little rebellious spirit. It's cute. I love it. So, no, so I would say the business side of things, like, it does make sense. And the fashion side of things, it absolutely does make sense too, because I mean, since I was a little girl, like, ballet recitals, all my dance recitals, it was like me and my mom getting all my costumes together, going to the store, making sure we have everything. And then it was like first day of school, fashion, like, we would make sure, like, I was always me and my mom, we were always in the mall. So it's like shopping, yes, fashion, yes, but like I never thought I'd be making clothes. Like, I was like, I didn't
Hmm.
think I would be creating something. I'm like, I love a good mall. I love to shop. I love fashion. We love, but and so now that I'm here, I feel so blessed. I feel so grateful, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I do see the thread. And now that I'm here getting like my master's in fashion, there's such a world around this, that it's like, this is a business. This is no joke. Like, there's techniques, there's strategies. And now I can take that and really, like, it's almost like turning my dream into a money-making machine. And it's just,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
I love it.
and I think that people really discount sometimes because we're all consumers. So like
Yeah.
we consume, we buy, and we don't really think about how competitive and complex retail and e-commerce is. Like when you
Yes.
think about it, it's like it takes all of 2 weeks for a t-shirt to become this like viral thing, right? Like you see one girl wearing it and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, everybody has the Free People set. Everybody has this bag and
Mm-hmm.
we consume it and we enjoy it, but it's crazy to think about everything that goes on behind the scenes and all of the strategy and all of the, you know, competition to become, front of mind for people and to get in front of people all across the world in so many different ways. And so, yeah,
Yes.
it's incredibly competitive. So I think for a competitive girl, it's definitely like the right place to be because I think it's a
Yeah.
very difficult market to distinguish yourself in, even if you have an offering or a product that is not out there. Like you're creating something new, but it's still so hard just to get in front of people and to get your voice and be like, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, and have people follow along.
Totally. But yeah, as you said before in the beginning, it's like, our community like is so sticky. Like the military
Mm-hmm.
community, like once one person knows about something, like we're all gonna know. Like I don't know how it works
Yes.
now, like telepathy or something, but it's just like
Yes.
it's like it's been so fun working with this community. People are like when I first started, I would take pre-orders because I was like trying to get cash to pay for the product, and people would be waiting, like girls would be waiting like 6 months for this product.
Yes. Yes.
It was insane. And all of my business mentors were like, they're not going to wait that long. I'm like, I'm telling you, these girls are going to wait that long. And they would probably wait longer because there has never been a brand like this that's really like championing, that's not a word, being a champion for us. And I'm like, that's number one. And this is a woman veteran owned business. They're supporting me because I'm one of them. Like they want me to win. And
Yes.
in the regular retail space, like you don't really have that. You have, like you said, more competition, blah, blah, but there's heart and like genuine loyalty within this brand, which I just have to shout out to every single girl that's ever bought a product, that's ever supported me and my entire everything. Like everyone who supported this business, every veteran, like it's just a family. And I think that's what the coolest part about building this brand is. It's like I know my community wants to see me win, and that keeps me going.
Yes. Truly the best. That I will say, like military as a whole and then military women, like when we get behind someone, we just keep pushing them and loving them and loving them. It's the best.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
so I'm so excited to ask you about your experience on Shark Tank. Like,
Yeah.
holy crap. So I'll never forget, I saw you on Shark Tank like before I think I knew about the brand. And I'm like, okay, there's this beautiful woman up there in a military uniform saluting the sharks. What is she selling? I was like so intrigued. And so, okay, I want to know like start to finish because I haven't interviewed anyone yet who's gone through this experience. How do you get onto the show and like what was the experience? What was the experience like?
Yes. Oh man, Shark Tank, what a beautiful chapter. So, what a beautiful chapter. So, basically, it's so simple. You go on their website and you put in an application. You just fill it out. That's one way you can go in, or you can do an in-person casting. And so it was during COVID and they weren't doing in-person castings anymore. And so the only way to do it was to submit a video. I had gone and won the veteran Shark Tank in 2022. And that kind of set me up to like building my confidence where I'm like, oh, like I think I could do like the real Shark Tank. Like I was like watching the shows and I was just like, I think I could do this. Like we have enough time in business and we just won this pitch competition. Like I think I can do this. So I just put my information in there. I submitted my video and they called me back and they're like, we want you. And I was like, all right. So the process is like 2 to 3 months of constant, talking with the producers, preparing, and just basically them seeing if they like you with all these different team members, and then also just like how to refine your pitch and if you could be good for TV and blah, 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 blah. So once you finally get through like 2 months of all of that, then they're like, okay, you have a film date. And that film date is like, oh, you're locked in. Like you're going to actually do this thing with the sharks. So about a month out from my film date, I hired a Shark Tank coach. So it's super random. I found him on YouTube.
So cool.
Yes. I, first of all, watched every Shark Tank episode I possibly could. You know how it is. And then I was like, I went on YouTube and this guy was like, talking about how he helped some other companies get deal on Shark Tank by basically being presentation coaches to them. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I need you. And he's like, I can train you. And so we worked together for a month, like almost every day, just like my presentation, how I wanted to present myself, how to answer the Q&As, how to and he basically would train like these top CEOs of these big tech companies to present themselves to their to their staff. So it was just like he almost was like training me to just like be just spectacular in front of these millionaires. He's like, this is how you present to them. And so I trained with him, had my film date, filmed, got the deal. And sorry, I skipped over that, but it's basically like you go to LA. I was living in Long Beach, which is like 30 minutes south of LA, and drove up there, got a hotel with a couple other Shark Tank entrepreneurs, and we all like stayed in the hotel, got up in the morning. They all took us on a bus to the filming site. And yeah, it was like very quick and fast. And they put us in these trailers. I had my hair and makeup done before I got there and, had my entire look set up. I knew I was going to get crap from my braid because I'm like, I know it's out of regs, but
Oh, well, who cares?
I'm like, this is not about regs. This is about TV. I have to look like Kim Possible. I'm like, you guys don't understand. So
Yeah.
I went for the whole thing and I was the first to present of the day. So it was like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, the first one. And I wanted to get it over with though. I was like, I'm not trying to sit in this trailer for hours and wait to go. So I was like, I'll go first. Let me knock it out. And I was ready. I walked in there and completely crushed it. I was in there for about an hour and a half, I would say. You only see about 5 to 10 minutes on the show, but I was in there for about an hour and a half. Everybody went out except Lori, and it was so unexpected. It was so emotional. I cried. I was like the whole staff, like even the Shark Tank like staff, like the camera people, they were all just like, oh my gosh, Haley, like congratulations. I mean, it's just a phenomenal organization. So just like shout out to Shark Tank. They're amazing. And then I got the deal and I couldn't tell anybody. Because
That's like the craziest thing about reality TV is like all of these crazy things happen and then you have to just go home and be like quiet about it until it's on TV.
exactly. No, I was like my dad and my my boyfriend at the time, like he and we all like went and partied like on a rooftop pool in LA and just like couldn't tell anybody why we were partying and everything, whatever. It was just like, but it was just super exciting. It was very exciting. And then a year later, they called me and they were like, we're going to actually air you on TV. And so I had to wait a year. And then a week before we aired, they told us, and I had to basically scramble and I had to get a launch party together. I actually got like 5 other launch parties happening around the states, like at different military academies, different bases, and got them to film it. And I sent them like pizza and did like pizza parties. And I was like, we're going to be on TV, like support us, blah, blah, come out, blah, blah, blah. And that's when the business blew up. Like the night that it aired, we 3x'd overnight. I mean, we just automatically became the Shark Tank company. Like anywhere, every conference we went to, everywhere I went. I'm even here in Italy and people are like, I think I saw you on Shark Tank. And I'm like, yeah, that was me.
That is so crazy. And like talk about having to celebrate in silence, like to wait that long to be able to relish in something that you were working so hard at. Like it's not like someone just came out of nowhere and was like, hey, I want to, give you money. I want to invest in your business. Like you trained for that day and it was incredibly emotional to just be like, I have to just keep this to myself and like to the people who like need to know and can know is so crazy, but it's so awesome. Like, and I want to know, I want to talk about just confidence and public speaking and getting in front of people. And, when you look up the things that people are most afraid of, it's like spiders, public speaking, and death. Like they're like the 3 top things that people just have a really hard time with. And, with your background, like as a cheerleader, as a dancer, as a business owner, like I've seen some of your like presentations off of Shark Tank before. Does it come naturally to feel good in front of people and to just kind of be yourself and exude confidence? Or is it something that you work on like someone who's training for a marathon? Like, are you training and coaching and trying to get better at it? Or do you think it's something that is like just part of kind of your secret to success that you were born with a knack for?
Oh no, dude. I trained. I put in hours. I hired coaches. I have practiced nonstop. I mean, I guess, yeah, you could say I've been in front of crowds since I was 5 years old, like performing, dance and stuff, but that's very different from speaking in front of people. But, my mom would train me even like when I would take high school public speaking classes, and she would have me stand in the kitchen and be like, all right, do your speech. And she'd like give me my feedback. My mom would train me pretty much. And I'm so grateful for that. But she knew the importance of being a good speaker and being able to present yourself. And so I've always had the training, but I've been training my whole life, I would say. But once Shark Tank happened, I got the presentation coach. Then I did a TEDx talk and got a TEDx coach. And then I was doing keynote speeches, so I got a keynote speaking coach. Like I am big on that because I am an athlete. Like I'm like, if I know I have to do something, I want to do it right. And so I invest, even if I am good at speaking naturally, like you still have to have those nuances to succeed in different arenas.
Yes. And I think it's very interesting. I've never really thought about this before because you hear a lot about coaching and whether it's a business coach or a coach for public speaking. But I like that you're talking about having a coach that's so niche to whatever it is that you're doing, because obviously speaking at, a TEDx event or Shark Tank are two very different things. And there's different challenges that you're facing in that moment in terms of like your nerves and how you have to be prepared and things like that. So that's super cool to think about. Is there anything that you do independent of a coach? Like if somebody was working on being a more effective public speaker, a more effective, I guess, representation of a brand or something they're trying to sell or an idea that they're trying to pitch, is there something that you do to feel on fire, whether it's like in the moment or leading up to whatever it is you're doing outside of just the sheer preparation and practicing with someone that you trust?
Yeah, I would say two things. Number one, I don't watch TV. I'm a YouTube girl. Like I'm constantly watching other successful women and successful speakers, and I'm just observing. Like so just you don't even have to hire somebody, just watching other successful speakers, you can really pick up a lot from that. And the second thing is it's really the internal work that you're doing and the how you're taking care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. Like, I'm going to get a little spiritual on you. I'm sorry, Sarah, but
Please do.
yeah, I'm like, we're going to go into it. But I meditate twice a day for 20 minutes a day. I make sure that I try to feed myself, whole foods. I try to work out every day, hit the sauna every day. These are like my non-negotiables. I pray every day. Like, I really take my like whole concept where when you speak, like it's not just you speaking, it's your energy. It's like, are you coming across as like jittery? Like, are you, are you coming across as not aware of your surroundings? Are you too loud? Are you too soft or whatever? And a lot of that has to do with you taking time and investing in yourself. And so meditation like has been one of the top things that's allowed me to just be more self-aware. And then in return allows me to really walk into the room, like embodying my energy. And it's like, I can project, I can feel other people's energies and just kind of, it's me speaking, but it's also me vibing with everybody in the room at the same time.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I've thought about that over the years of like, when do I feel my best and when do I perform? And it sounds so simple, but if you're not taking care of yourself, not sleeping, procrastinating, whatever it is that you're working on, feeling rushed, feeling frazzled, it will 100% pour out of you when it comes time to do what it is that you're doing. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to talk a little bit about building Torch and just kind of, obviously there's been some really shiny, amazing moments like Shark Tank and these big wins, but what were some setbacks that you had? Or, was there something that changed along the way? Like, hey, we thought we were going to do it this way and we learned we had to do it this way the hard way. What were some of your, I guess, defining lessons as you developed the brand and launched the business?
Oh my gosh. So many every day. Every day is a setback and every day is a win. I mean, that's entrepreneurship. It's like juggling
Yeah.
balancing like the wins and the losses. And I would say a couple that come up for me is like when we were taking pre-orders and people were waiting 6 months for their product, like that was brutal. Like my customer support girl was like, Haley, I cannot keep getting these messages of where's my bodysuit, where's my bodysuit. And I'm just like, I know, like, so the logistic side of things, like I think trying to, well, first of all, it's kind of hard to dictate like, you know, how much inventory to like get ready for something like Shark Tank. So I
Yes.
think we had a couple things where it was like, yeah, I mean, we were just not going to be perfect at that. I'm brand new to running a business. I'm 2 years in, I'm going on Shark Tank, and now I don't know the logistics of things. So like I did have a business coach, and that's, again, a little key element that you'll see throughout my story. But like, I have people around me who kind of cushion my fall. Like, it's like, okay, how do we mitigate customer satisfaction when they're waiting for 6 months? It's like, okay, that's a challenge, but we were able to tackle it. I think the biggest thing is just like being aware of the challenges, whether that is operations, finances, community events, being aware of it, not ignoring it and addressing them right away, and having a team around you who's like, okay, like let's put this fire out together without us like getting stressed out and like, oh my gosh, the business is going under. It's like, no, this is just, let's tackle it right here and now. So I would say, yeah, like just that. I would say, in the very beginning when I wasn't able to travel, like I couldn't travel because I was shipping out orders from my second bedroom, and like I had to stay home, and me and my boyfriend were like just all in on this, and it was like, okay, we need to scale, we need to grow, we need somebody to help us with this. So, finding the distribution team, which has been phenomenal. But, every step of the way, there's going to be something that kind of brings where you're just like, man, like how do I do this? Even more recently, we launched something called Torch Walking Coffees. And the whole premise of it is literally just like a run club, but
So fun.
yeah, but like less, more chill, more cutesy, right? Like, let's just go on a walk and get some coffee. And I tried to launch in 19 cities in 5 different countries. And I think 6 went in 3 different countries, which is still great. But, just it's always going to be like trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And you have to keep innovating on your way as you continue developing your brand. Like if we just kept doing bodysuits, it's like, okay, it's getting boring. Like we have to try something new. And so when you try something new, there's always going to be a challenge with it. And so, yeah, that's business.
You said 2 things that really stood out to me, which is that every day is a setback and every day is a win, which is honestly, I feel like for an entrepreneur or a small business owner, that's probably like the truest statement ever, because you probably have those small miracles every day, whether it's something going well or even just somebody like leaving a great review or, posting a video with your product and being like, oh my gosh, I love this, and seeing that positive feedback. And then you have, there's just so many things that can happen when you're buying, selling, shipping, running an operational, thing and in any capacity. And so, I really like that you said that. And then also too, I was actually interviewing somebody last week, and we were talking about dysfunctions on a team and how to, the question was like how to address it. And the thing that he said, which was so simple but so true, is, well, you have to address it. Like you have to just start with saying it out loud, because so many teams, whether it's, a small business, military, corporate, whatever, we dance around our problems and dance around our, we all know this is happening, but nobody wants to say it. And so I like that you said like, hey, we just have to come out and say it, address it. Like, hey, this is an issue. Like we have a customer satisfaction issue at the moment, but this is how we're getting around it. We, are dealing with this, but this is our workaround. And so for people who are managing a team or working through problems with their team, I think the worst thing that you can do is just let something go for a long time without speaking it into existence, because nothing gets better with time. And so, just having the transparency in your organization to say it like it is and then move forward and continue to kind of like check the block and move forward.
Exactly. And you just sparked an idea for me. Like, I write everything down. Like, that's been my new thing. Like, whether it's on my Google Calendar, if, whatever comes to my mind, if it's an idea, if it's something I need to do. But now I'm like, whenever a challenge comes up, like, I'm going to have a specific page that's just like challenges. Like, and whenever it comes up, I'm going to write it down immediately. Cause sometimes you're like, it comes up for you and you're like, ah, and then you don't know,
Yes.
like, you're like, wait, what do I do with it? So, that's just I read a really awesome book. It was like what Harvard Business School doesn't teach you. And
Mm-hmm.
the guy was like, write everything down. And ever since like he said that, I'm like, it's so
Yes.
true. But yeah, that goes for challenges, that goes for wins, that goes for to-dos, whatever, blah, blah. But write it all down because then you can just look back at it later and tackle it when you have the time as well.
Yes, I do this thing. This is kind of psychotic, but I will like be in the middle of my day and something will come into my head and I will yell at my phone like to Siri and be like, write this reminder down. Is it'll be something like, I know I need to work on this or I need to have this conversation or I need to like check in on this person. And so I basically just like from across the room will be like, Siri, remind me on Tuesday to text Haley or like whatever. And so yes,
Yes.
I feel like our brains are just running a mile a minute. And so we just have to capture those thoughts when they come up.
That is so
Um
good. We love Siri, we love AI, we love ChatGPT, we love
all of it, all of
all of
it.
it, all of it.
So I know that this could be a whole episode in itself, but when you were creating your business, so you had your idea, you had your community at work where you were like, hey, I know that there's people who are bought into this that would be interested. What did you do next? Like, what were your, like, at a high level,
Mhm.
few steps that you took to create a retail brand? Where does someone start if I'm like, hey, I want to make this special type of scrunchie for my hair type that I know people will love or whatever it is, this niche product that I want to create. What do I do first?
Yes. So I think you have to first decide like, is this going to be a brand or is this going to be a product? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
two different things. Like I knew I wanted to start a brand around the product and I didn't want to just stop at, just the bodysuit. I'm like, no, this is going to be a whole line. It's going to be a whole thing. But sometimes, like you said, if you just want to make a scrunchie, like you don't necessarily have to make a whole brand around that. You can make the scrunchie and we can go into product development in a second, but you can make the scrunchie and then just like license it out to other brands or just sell it, here and there on different platforms, Amazon, whatever. But so there's just so many different channels. So just think about what you're creating first. Then it's the who. It's who can make this for me? Who can help me kind of, if you're a very beginner, you've never done business, like who can kind of help me lay out what that entails? And then it's just like, finding those people. It's finding the people who can make the product, finding the people who can help you wrap your brain around business. And so I hired a business coach right off the bat. I found her through my Penn State network. I went to Penn State and she came highly referred. And then I started talking to other people who make products. So like I lived close to San Francisco. I went into the city and went into some stores. I had a friend who was in the city as well. And she was like, you should go talk to these people. They make custom leather jackets. Like maybe they know somebody who could make your bodysuit. And so I just went in there and I was like, hello, I'm looking for a manufacturer. And they're like, so nice. And usually people really are open to helping you as you're beginning. And they were like, yeah, we manufacture in LA. We'll give you the name. And so I drove my butt down to LA, met with the manufacturer. And then once you get into those big hubs like LA, New York, wherever, they pretty much know everybody because they've been in that business for years, generations. So he connected me with the packaging guy, with the tag people, with the distribution people, with the fabric people, and it all kind of goes together from there. So yeah, I mean, I would say it's research, it's knowing what you really want to put out into the world, and then starting to ask the people who are in that space, like, hey, how are you doing this? How are you doing this? And then taking action and being like, all right, I'm going to put the money down and commit. Like, I would say also before that, validate your idea.
Yes.
Make sure people really want this. Like before I really started getting this whole thing going, I asked my community and they responded. And so Yeah, I went for it. And it's a leap of faith. It's risk. It's like we talked about, highs, lows, it's everything in between, but specifically military people, I think we're equipped, and specifically military women. I mean, it's amazing when you really think about the training that we've been through and our mentality. And just like you said, we're all a little bit risk takers, a little bit of rebels. Like that's what you need to be successful in this space.
Yeah, 100%. And I really resonate with what you said too about making sure like I'm creating something that the world wants and there's a need for this, because it's like we all like I everybody has those like wild dreams of things, and then you have to take a step back and be like, okay, is this like for me? Is this something like maybe I create something for myself or create something for fun, but I don't necessarily sell it? And it's definitely a good question to ask when you launch an idea, whether it's a service or a product, of like, what is the need? What is the audience? Like, will this stand the test of time? Is this something that is a limited market that I can't expand upon? But like, I mean, you made the amazing point early on that you can work on bringing this to other countries. Like there's military veterans all over the world. And that's just so cool, the limitless potential there. So, so amazing. And then what about your team? I would love to know, like, who were some of the first people that you brought in? Like, who was it that you first brought in, and how did you know this is the person I need to bring in to help me make this come to life?
Yes. So first was my business coach, and the next person I brought on was a marketing guy. Met him through like Verizon Small Business something. It was like, whatever. I knew I wanted, some help with almost like it was like the website side of things. So no, I would say it was my website developer first. My website developer, making sure that was good to go. And then my marketing guy helped with ads, setting up email, setting up, kind of like the marketing-ish side of things. And then when we couldn't ship out of our bedroom anymore, we were like, we need a distribution center. They were essential. That was key. They came, I would say, third, and I'm so grateful for them. And then more recently, I brought on a customer support girl. Because I was doing all the customer support, and then I was just like, no, this is getting too much.
That's crazy work that you were doing that yourself.
Yeah,
talk about burnout.
I know. I was just like, no, I can't do this. I had like a personal assistant for a little while, which was helpful, but I was like, no, I need someone dedicated to this community. And yeah, I mean, I just recently brought on a chief community officer. His name is Matt. He's awesome. I wanted him to like be like the architecture of create the framework for the community, the global community, because as you know, like it's like you want to do it right. I'm like, I don't really know how to build a community like this. So I'm like, he's done it with other brands. I'm like, come in, do it for me. It's like, it's all contract labor though. Like I'm the only full time.
Yes, for sure. So it's like you're the hub and like the nucleus of everything. And then you have these key players who are coming in and doing essential functions to help you do what you do, basically.
Exactly. And I still create all the content, which I'm trying my best to get away from. I'm like, whew, I need to. The creative direction is big. As you know, it's like, I really need to make sure I like the content you're putting out on my Instagram. Like, that's key.
Yes, but it is so time consuming. It's so hard. That is, especially these days, it's like half the battle. Um,
It
so
is.
last question for you is, so especially now with what you're studying and where you're at in your academic journey,
Mm.
where do you think that retail and e-commerce is heading that maybe the average consumer does not know about? And how do you want your brand to continue to grow with that? So obviously the whole business landscape is going through kind of a revolution right now with, AI and how many things are being outsourced to more or less robots or computers. Things are so much quicker. Like I feel like nowadays when I check out for when I'm buying something online, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I literally just had to click two buttons and this is going to be here in 2 days. And it's just so crazy, like how easy it is and how I
Yeah.
could just go online and everything is recommended to me. It's like my social media sites know exactly what I want to buy. And so what have you learned recently, or I guess what do you think that maybe most people don't think about or consider when it comes to the evolution of the space that you're in now?
I love this question. So we just did we had a class and it showcased all of like the luxury market, what people are spending their money on, their time on. And there's a huge shift in experiences and wellness. And
Yes.
yeah, so it's like it's in person, people want to go and experience your brand. Like it's not just about, online. They want community. They want to go to a new place and have, a whole journey, a whole thing with like other people that are like them. It's belonging. It's, paying attention to sustainability. It's paying attention to, how you're giving back at the same time. Like it's less about, okay, this is this much money because of whatever, I'm going to buy this. It's more about how can you really immerse your customer in an experience. And so that's why we're shifting to in-person events. That's why we're trying to do pop-ups, meeting girls on bases, meeting girls at events. It's super exciting. We're going to be launching an AFES next
Oh my
year.
gosh, amazing.
Woo! So excited. That's going to be insane. I'll keep you updated on that. So but even that, like, how do we change the retail experience at AFES? Like, as you know, like it's,
It's not glamorous.
right. But I'm like, that is such an opportunity. Like, how can we make Torch like this corner of AFES where it's like, oh, we gotta go to the BX today. Like, we gotta go see what's going on with. So I'm really excited to partner with them because I have so many ideas on how we can build community around these nucleuses of the military, and it's like, and make it fun again, and make it feminine, but also like really empowering. So a lot of cool things coming up where we're going to meet our customers where they're at. And it's going to be less about the product and more about the community and the experience of the brand.
It's so cool that you said that because I was having this conversation the other day with someone about malls and like
Mhm.
whether or not the mall is dead or like whether or not in-store shopping is still a thing. And backstory to like my fascination with e-commerce and retail. My mother has been in retail her whole life, and she got into e-commerce when the internet, like when online shopping was literally like at the beginning of its era. And it's
Whoa.
so interesting talking to her about kind of the life cycle of how consumers spend their money and like how they like what they want out of a brand and like brand loyalty and all this stuff. And something
Mhm.
that, her and I have chatted about a lot recently, and it's so in line with what you're saying, is that yes, like while, the digital space is incredibly important, people want fast, they want convenient, they want, the product that is exactly what they're looking for. They want options, they want all that.
Mhm.
People want to go and see things, especially when it's something they're spending a lot of money on. They
Yes.
want to feel connected to the staff. They
Yep.
want to feel a sense of, I don't know if importance is the right word because that sounds kind of negative, but a sense of connectivity in a way, like
Yes.
coming into the store and learning about the brand and maybe having a snack or a drink that
Yeah.
resonates with whatever it is that you're selling. And
Mhm.
that is becoming so much more important and so much more common. I mean, I
Yep.
live in an area that has a huge small business economy, and every
Yes.
weekend it's like 6 small businesses coming together and doing like a sip and shop, and there's somebody in the back doing Botox and doing nails and spray tans, and it's like this whole thing. And I
Yes.
don't remember that ever being a thing, and I don't know if it's like the post-COVID era where people were craving connectivity, but I think it's just that there is this heightened sense of like, as a consumer, I want to be connected to whatever it is I'm buying. I want to be connected to the brand.
Yep.
And that can be a game changer in terms of brand loyalty. Like there are some brands that have stood the test of time, stood the test of recessions and, bad turns in the market because they had a consumer that was like, no, this is my brand. I'm staying loyal. Like I'm going to and also that brand, gets good relationships with their
partners or their suppliers or whatever. And like that loyalty to the company or to the business it can be a total game changer. So I think it's so cool. Like so much of retail is actually just human psychology and just like how we want to interact and behave with one another. So it's so fascinating.
It is fascinating. I'm telling you. Yes, it is all human psychology. Even like how the store is set up, why certain products are towards the front of the store or the back of the store. Like I've been learning so much. Like we even took like a field trip to a Dior store here in Florida.
My favorite kind of field trip.
That's what I said. I'm like, hold on. Are we gonna do this here? I'm like, this is a dream. So we went there and we really broke down the experience. Like what made that an awesome shopping experience? It's like when we walked in, we were greeted at the door, and then we were, it was just like everything, the layout, everything was so beautifully done. And it's all about human psychology, how you're making people feel, how you're connecting with people. And, then they're like, compare that to Zara or compare that to whatever. Like all of these shopping experiences are so to the T of like what, how they're going to make their money. And it's really cool. Like, I'm like, this is really fascinating. And
it's so fascinating. And it's so funny. I had probably for the first time in my life, like bought something this year that felt emotional. I bought my fiance a watch, and I literally like through the whole experience just enjoyed it so much. And when I gave it to him, I cried, and I was like, I cannot believe I'm crying over this freaking watch. Like, but it goes back to how important like the experience, because it was like we met the people who worked for the brand, and we went to a small event they were having, and he loved the watch, and we talked about it, and it like became this whole thing that was so much more than just the watch. And then it really just made me reemphasize like there is just so much emotion, especially in any type of like luxury retail or like specialized product that you're selling. And so I think it's so cool, and something that sometimes we don't think about as we're just continuing to like buy and consume and fill our wardrobe with the things we love, is like how much is actually going on with that transaction.
Yes. No, and that is so beautiful. And that's, I think, I love that. I love that you had such a positive experience like that. And like there's so much around like it was interesting, like we were talking about the psychology of like how people, it's not that we need to consume, it's just that like we all kind of want, like we all are going to have like a splurge moment in our life. Like there's going to be some type of moment where we're like, we want to do something a little bit special for somebody or for ourselves. And so like, I mean, that was interesting. I'm like, I'm open to debate on that statement, but I'm like, it's really true. Like I've noticed like you wanted to buy this for your fiance. So it's like these stores are stood up it's for pleasure, but it's almost like it's just a human necessity where we're all going to feel that sometime in our life. And so like, that's why they're still in business. That's why they're still growing. But, of course, just like any industry, you have to shift and change, but it's like that initial human feeling is always going to be there. So I'm like, that's interesting too. I'm like learning more about myself. I'm like, yeah, I guess I do get an ice cream when I like, survive something,
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, no, it's really cool.
Well, we're coming up on the hour, and Haley Marie, I am just so happy that we talked. This has been so much fun, and I'm just so stoked to continue to see you excel, see this brand grow, and just see like the Torch community just continue to come together, and not just for what you sell, but for what you do and what you represent is just so awesome. And I'm excited for people to hear more about you, hear more about your journey, and also be inspired if they have a wild, crazy idea to really just bring it to life and to be a risk taker and to use, like you said, that experience of things we've gone through in our professional journey that have set us up and equipped us to do crazy things like what you're doing. So thank you so much for sharing everything with us, for dialing in before you start your probably very busy week over on the other side of the world. We're so thankful, and it's been so cool getting to know everything about you.
Sarah, thank you so much. It's been an honor. I'm so grateful. And yes, anyone listening, go after your wildest dreams, be tactical, use all of your brain, but also use your heart and your spirit. And, the world needs it and loves it. So go for it.
And look good doing it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Look good and feel good always.
Exactly. Thank you.
Awesome. The Women in the Arena podcast is powered by Iron Butterfly Media, a production company committed to honoring the lives of women who have had an unseen and outsized impact on our world. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have a woman who you would like to nominate as a guest, please shoot us a message on our social media platforms. Be sure to subscribe and follow on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. See you next time.